The following is a slightly historical series on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era of China's history. Because this is based off of a video game, and myself playing it, there will be a lot of incorrect information that we will correct using the help of Wikipedia. For those of you who want to learn more about Dynasty Warriors, or the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, I suggest reading the book. Please enjoy the following presentation. We come to a special bonus episode here. One that I didn't really know where to slot in, because it is an other character. And usually, for these other characters, their entire story is complete fabrication. Especially the case with Lu Bu, one of the most famous and fearsome officers in the fall of the Han Dynasty. Nigh unkillable in the Battle of Hulao Gate, but then you do end up killing him in the Battle of Jian, and that's usually the only times you ever see Lu Bu. The most feared warrior throughout the land. He is constantly searching for a worthy opponent so that he may continually test his might. And I gotta say, looking at his Wikipedia page, it is huge. Like, I'm thinking back to, Zhu Chu, and his page was not this big. He lived to see the entire rise and fall of the Three Kingdoms, basically. Zhu Chu did. And his entire Wikipedia page was not nearly as long as this. There are two official biographies of Lu Bu. First one is The Records of the Three Kingdoms, which was written by Yuan Shao in the 3rd century. And in the 5th century, He Zongxi annotated the Sangguo Shi, the Records of the Three Kingdoms, by incorporating information from other sources to Yuan Shao's original work and adding his own personal commentary. Some alternative texts he used in the annotations to Lu Bu include the Yingzhongji, the Chronicles of Heroes and Champions, the Jian Di Chunqiu, the Chronicles of Emperor Jian, Wei Shi Chunqiu, the Chronicles of the ruling family of Wei, and Cao Man Zhuan, biography of Cao Man by an unknown writer. The second biography of Lu Bu is in the Book of the Later Han, which was compiled by Fan Ye in the 5th century. From these actual historical records, there are no descriptions of Lu Bu's physical appearance. It is noted that he specialized in archery and horse riding, and he possessed great physical strength. He was nicknamed the Flying General. He also owned a powerful steed known as the Red Hare, which is in this game named the Red Hare. The Cao Man Zhuan recorded that there was a saying at the time to describe Lu Bu and the Red Hare. Among men, Lu Bu. Among steeds, Red Hare. In the historical novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms itself, it was described as having a lofty and dignified look, a majestic and awe-inspiring bearing wielding Fangqian Huaji, which I don't know what that is, probably his weapon. But it's really funny that there's a lot written about him. His service under Ding Yuan and his defection to Dongzhuo, his service under Dongzhuo, his expulsion from Chang'an after he betrays Dongzhuo, seeking shelter under Yuan Shu, joining Yuan Shao, the Battle of Yan Province. He became a warlord of Zhu Province after he stole that from Liu Bei, and then after that, the Battle of Jian, he actually allied with Cao Cao against Yuan Shu, and then betrayed Cao Cao, which is why at Jian, little mercy is shown to him, but we'll get there when we get there. There's a lot written down about Lu Bu's exploits, and a lot of it is gassed up in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because in the rest of I read through this, skimmed through it mostly before starting stream, and he took place in a lot of battles, but he actually lost 2 battles against Sun Jian At the Battle of Hulao Gate, which doesn't exist, that's a completely fictional battle, but at the Battle of Sishui Gate, which was mistaken for Hulao Gate, because Sishui Gate and Hulao Gate are so close together, relatively, in great big land of China. But again, we'll get to it when we get to it, in terms of the actual stories being told compared to their actual biographies. Lu Bu being a hothead is definitely true. Someone that went back and forth, betraying whoever his lords were over time. We'll see what his story has for us here, but I do know that in the later Dynasty Warriors, it's usually like, chaos! Like, he just fights to fight, he fights to mess everybody up, he just continues fighting because he loves the chaos of war. So, eventually the story will end with him. His happy ending is just, like, continuing the chaos and reveling in it, because, you know, in real life, he was kind of chaotic. He constantly betrayed the people that took him in, kind of thing. Like, he betrayed allies constantly. So, we'll see what his story has for us.
I'm Lu Bu. Right now, I'm under the service of Dong Zhuo in order to prove myself to the warrior. He's taken me in as his son, but I'm not really sure I trust him.
That part is true. He was taken in, like, as a son figure. This is after being with a Ding Yuan. So Lu Bu grew up in Jian country, which is closer to Inner Mongolia. He was known for his martial valor in Bing province when Ding Yuan, the inspector of Bing, was appointed as a cavalry commandant by the Han central government and ordered to garrison at Hanei Commandery. He recruited Lu Bu as a registrar and treated him kindly. After the death of Emperor Ling in 189, Ding Yuan led his troops to the capital Luoyang to assist the general He Jin in eliminating the eunuch faction. He Jin ended up being assassinated by the eunuchs instead, after which the warlord Dong Zhuo led his forces to Luoyang and occupied the capital, which is something that we haven't actually brought up before. That's why the coalition existed, because Dong Zhuo was a warlord that swooped in on the capital. Everybody disliked that, and then everyone got together and killed him. Dong Zhuo wanted to kill Ding Yuan and take control of Ding's troops, so he induced Lu Bu into betraying Ding and defecting to his side. Lu Bu killed Ding Yuan, cut off his head, and presented it to Dong Zhuo, who had by then seized control of the Han central government. Dong Zhuo appointed Lu Bu as a cavalry commandant and placed much faith and trust in him. He accepted Lu Bu as a foster son, who was later promoted from the position of a cavalry commandant to general of the household. He also made marquis of a chief village. In 190, a coalition of warlords led by Yuan Shao initiated a punitive campaign against Dong Zhuo in response to his tyranny and monopoly of the central government. Dong Zhuo had deposed Emperor Ling's successor, Emperor Shao, earlier that year, and replaced him with Emperor Jian, who was actually a puppet ruler under his control. So at this point, Dong Zhuo was the, air quotes, Emperor of China, and Lu Bu, his adopted son, helped defend him. Lu Bu defended Dong Zhuo and fought in battles against the coalition. In one battle at Yanggren, believed to be near present-day Wenchuan, Dong Zhuo ordered Lu Bu and Hu Zhen to attack Sun Jian, which we kind of know him. We've seen his name a few times because he was the father of Sun Ce and Sun Quan, so Sun Jian, very famous in his own right. Let's see. Lu Bu would retreat, or I skipped a line, my bad. Lu Bu and Hu Zhen could not get along with each other, resulting in disorder in their army. Sun Jian used the opportunity to attack them and force them to retreat. Within months, the coalition forces had reached the capital of Luoyang. Dong Zhuo personally led an army to engage the coalition, led by Sun Jian, in the area where the tombs of the Han emperors were located, but was defeated and forced to retreat. Sun Jian then passed through Luoyang's gate, where he attacked Lu Bu and drove him back. Dong Zhuo was alarmed, so he decided to evacuate Luoyang and move the capital to Chang'an in the west. He sent his troops to pillage Luoyang and force its residents to move to Chang'an as well, and then had Luoyang destroyed by fire. Coalition did not pursue Dong Zhuo and eventually dissolved by itself in the following year.
Currently, an entire army, formed by the puny regional lords, is trying to come and overthrow Dong Zhuo. So I've been ordered to go and take them out at the C-Shui Gate. I'm getting kind of sick of that guy always telling me what to do. But hopefully, I'll get to fight someone who actually gives me a challenge. Well, I better get going.
You worthless rats! You're just jealous of me because I made my dreams come true! You can't defy me, no matter how many of you try! Those fools think they can break through C-Shui Gate? Ha! If they want to fight, they might as well just hand over their heads! Lu Bu, I've been nice enough to adopt you as my son. So get out there and fight! Go! Rip them all to shreds! Know who you're dealing with!
So it's kind of funny that both Gongsun Zan and Yuan Shao are here. They were also, you know, big-time regional warlords in the northeast of China. Yuan Shao eventually does allow Lu Bu to live with him. Right now we're being comboed by them. Damn, they're super comboing me. They're juggling, bro. Leave me alone. Let me kill you.
I must retreat for now. Can anybody provide me with a decent
I'm pretty sure it was under Gongsun Zan that Tai Shi Tzu was under. I don't remember off the top of my head. There are so many names.
I must retreat.
But Yuan Shao, Yuan Shao's brother or cousin, some sort of relative, if I remember correctly. Lu Bu does take refuge with him for a little while, but then, you know, leaves because nobody likes Lu Bu, basically.
Have you learned your lesson yet? As long as Hua Xiong controls C-Shui Gate, you shall not pass. It is laughable to think that I would let such filth even approach Lord Dong Zhuo. But no matter how weak they are, I cannot hold them off forever. They will surely try to press the attack before long. I must find a way to keep them at bay.
Thank you for the subscription. During the cutscene, by the way. Thank you. Next battle is...
That stupid coalition never learns. I tore a hole right through them back at C-Shui Gate. But now they've come knocking at Hulao Gate, just outside Luoyang. Hulao Gate is surrounded. Zhang Liao is struggling. The gate won't last much longer now. Looks like it's up to me to save Dong Zhuo's hide again.
So, like we've mentioned in a previous video, the Battle of Hulao Gate didn't actually exist, and that's because there is no evidence of a battle taking place in the area where Hulao Gate is supposed to exist. But it is said that it's probably mixed up for the Battle of C-Shui, but whichever, you know, whatever is true, there are many, many stories written about the Battle of Hulao Pass. I'm not going to read the entire thing, because again, there is no historical record of any engagement taking place at Hulao Pass during that period of time. It was an alternative name of C-Shui Pass. In the novel, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei participate in the campaign under Gongsun Zan's banner, but the Zhangguo Shi did not mention Gongsun Zan's involvement in the campaign. And that kind of is important because at this battle, you know, while, you know, oh, don't approach Lu Bu, it's actually said that Lu Bu fought like several dozen, if not hundreds of individual duels at this battle against other warlords and won repeatedly. Just a couple of the names that he fought, let's see, were Mu Shun, a general under Zhang Yang, charged towards Lu Bu and was immediately killed. Wu Angguo, a general under Kang Rong, proceeded to challenge Lu Bu. They fought for 10 rounds, but then Lu Bu slit his wrist. The coalition forces charged and rescued Wu Angguo. Let's see. Just then, Lu Bu comes out to taunt the coalition. Gongsun Zan goes to challenge Lu Bu, but withdraws after a few rounds. Lu Bu gives chase, but he's distracted by Zhang Fei, who calls him a slave with 3 surnames. 3 surnames referring to Lu Bu's original surname and the 2 of his 2 foster fathers. Lu Bu battles Zhang Fei for 50 rounds, with neither gaining an advantage over the other. Following that, Guan Yu dashes out to assist Zhang Fei. The 3 fighters are engaged for another 30 bouts, and then Liu Bei also joins in the fray. 3 sworn brothers encircle Lu Bu and take turns trying to attack him from different directions, and Lu Bu is unable to defeat all 3 opponents, so he pretends to attack Liu Bei and escapes through the gap when Liu dodges his attack. So, exaggerated accounts of this battle that didn't exist, but it's still fun.
They're pathetic. But they managed to push back Zhang Liao, so maybe they're not as weak as I thought. Looks like I might be able to have some fun with them after all.
I love how the entire army is stuck inside of the castle.
You are a traitor to the land. Stand and face us.
You're pathetic. It's time to finish this.
I was just talking about this story. I fight all 3 sworn brothers at the same time.
The Allied forces are nothing but common fodder. If they get knocked around a bit, they give up and go home. They might as well not have even bothered.
I have no idea what's up with Toby right now. He just won't stop crying.
Now we must turn our attention inwards. Lately there has been an air of unrest around me. We must bring an end to the source of this malcontent before it can spread.
Now, the air of unrest is due to the fact that Dong Zhuo was a piece of shit. He behaved rudely in front of other people. He was afraid of being assassinated, hence he often kept Lu Bu by his side as a bodyguard. Dong Zhuo also had a bad temper and was easily agitated. Lu Bu was very unhappy and he bore a grudge against his foster father. At the same time, Lu Bu was tasked with guarding Dong Zhuo's central living quarters, and he had a secret affair with one of Dong's maids. He feared that Dong Zhuo would find out and feel very uneasy about it, and felt very uneasy about it. Earlier on, Lu Bu had been warmly received by Wang Yun, the Minister of the Masses, so he went to see Wang and complained about how Dong Zhuo almost killed him. At the time, Wang Yun and another official, Qi Sun Rui, were plotting to get rid of Dong Zhuo, so they told Lu Bu about their plan and sought his help. Lu Bu said, "But we are a father and son." Wang Yun replied, "Your family name is Lu, so you have no blood relations with him. He was not concerned about you at all when you almost died, so where is the father-son bond?" Lu Bu agreed to join them and personally killed Dong Zhuo later. After Dong Zhuo's death, Wang Yun and Lu Bu took charge of the central government. Lu Bu was appointed General of Vehement Might, and received the honors equivalent to those received by the 3 ducal ministers, 3 high-ranking officials in the Han administration. Emperor Jian also enfeoffed him as the Marquis of Wen. Not sure if that will be covered in this. Survival guide. Attack doubles when knocked down and health is low. And not a very good item. It has a lot of XP. I went up 5 levels from that one battle.
After the battle at Hulao Gate, Yao Chan asked me to kill Dong Zhuo. So I did. But then his stupid followers got all mad and I had to get out of the capital.
So again, Diao Chan doesn't exist. He was asked by a couple of other dudes, but you know, to keep with the consistency of the game and of, I imagine, the book, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Diao Chan told him to kill the man. After Dong Zhuo's death, his followers in Liang province, led by Li Zhu and Guo Si and others, formed an army to attack Chang'an, when Wang Yun refused to grant them amnesty for their past activities under Dong Zhuo. Guo Si led his men to attack the city's north gate, where he met Lu Bu, who told him, "Let's not send our soldiers into battle. Instead, let's have a man-on-man fight. Lu Bu then engaged Guo Si in a duel and injured him. Guo Si's men saved their superior. Both sides withdrew. Lu Bu was unable to resist the enemy, so he eventually abandoned Chang'an and fled. His defeat and subsequent fight took place 60 days after Dong Zhuo's death. He Zongxi commented that the 60 days claim in the original text of the Zhangguo Shi was erroneous. According to other sources, Lu Bu killed Dong Zhuo on the 23rd day of the 4th month in the 3rd year of the Cui Ping era, which is 190 to 193, during Emperor Jian's reign, and he fled from Chang'an on the 1st day of the 6th month. There were no interpolated dates in between, so Lu Bu could not have spent 60 days in Chang'an after Dong Zhuo's death. After leaving Chang'an, Lu Bu, accompanied by a few hundred horsemen and with Dong Zhuo's head tied to his saddle, passed through Wu Pass and went to join Yuan Shao, which was a character that we killed in one of the earlier battles, and not killed, but defeated. And I mentioned that he would take refuge under Yuan Shao later. I'm not going to read too much about joining Yuan Shao and Yuan Shao, but the long short of it was, there are differentiating accounts of when he was under Yuan Shao. That Yuan Shao hated him and Lu Bu treated him warmly, or the other way around, where Lu Bu hated Yuan Shao while Yuan Shao treated him warmly. But whichever account you go with, they didn't get along.
With no home of our own, we're stuck serving Yuan Shao.
Here we go, you're serving
Now
Yuan
he's gonna
Shao.
start a campaign against Gongsun Zan, and he wants us to join in the battle. Yuan Shao's a fool, and I don't like him. But I've been itching for a fight lately. I'll tear this Gongsun Zan guy limb from limb.
So, after leaving Yuan Shao, Lu Bu headed into northern China to join Yuan Shao's relative, Yuan Shao. He assisted Yuan Shao in attacking Zhang Yan at Changshan, which is the battle we're doing right now. Cool.
I cannot bear to defend such a vile man!
My lord, I know that you shall rise to greater heights than even the nobility could dream of. I believe in you, and I know that we can get through this as long as we stay together.
Again, Diao Chan is a
We will
fictional
attack
character.
Gongsun Zan. Lu Bu, head for the summit and hold off the enemy.
Which is weird, considering,
Let's just watch how things play out.
like, Lu Bu had a wife and family. He had a wife and a daughter. But for some reason, they gave Lu Bu this fictional concubine. Very strange.
I won't be denied next time.
And they should be.
My might was not enough. Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
Gongsun Zan and the traitor Zhang Yan have been eliminated. The land of Huabei now belongs to the Yuan family. Soon the influence of the Yuan family shall spread across the land. The strength of our nation is without equal, and our troops are filled with confidence. Now if only the Han can recapture its former glory.
Took care of Gongsun Zan, but now Yuan Shao is afraid of me and wants me dead. So my officers and I got out of there and joined up with Liu Bei and Sha Pi.
That is true. Lu Bu left Yuan Shao, and Yuan Shao sent 30 armored soldiers to escort him and personally saw him off. Along the journey, Lu Bu stopped and rested inside his tent. That night, Yuan Shao's soldiers crept into the tent, killed the person inside, and afterwards, they reported that Lu Bu was dead. Unfortunately for him, Lu Bu was smarter than they thought, and that was actually a decoy. Lu Bu fled to Hene Commandery to join Zhang Yang after his escape. Yuan Shao sent his men to pursue, but they were afraid of Lu Bu and did not dare approach him. That's probably where the line, don't approach Lu Bu comes from, or something like that. Zhang Yang and his subordinates were bribed by Li Zhi and Guo Si to kill Lu Bu. When Lu Bu heard about it, he told Zhang Yang, "I'm from the same province as you. If you kill me, you'll become weaker. If you recruit me, you can obtain the same honors and titles as Li Jue and Guo Si." Zhang Yang proceeded to agree to help Li Jue and Guo Si kill Lu Bu, but he secretly offered refuge Lu to instead. When Li Jue and Guo Si learned that Zhang Yang had accepted Lu Bu, they became worried, so they sent an imperial decree to Henne in the Emperor Jian's name, appointing Lu Bu as the administrator of Yingchuan Commandery. The account of Lu Bu's association with Zhang Yang in the Zhongguoshi differs slightly. The former mentions that Lu Bu joined Yuan Shao after he was rejected by Yuan Shu, and I'll just skip the rest of that paragraph. Yuan Shao was furious when he heard that Zhang Miao, whom he had a feud with, had become Lu Bu's friend. Around the time, Yuan Shao was still an ally of Cao Cao, so Zhang Miao feared that Cao Cao would combine forces with Yuan to attack him. Besides, Zhang Miao's jurisdiction, Chen Liu, was in Yan province, which was under Cao Cao's control. In 194, when Cao Cao left Yan province to attack Zhu, Zhang Miao's younger brother Zhang Chao, along with Cao's subordinates Chen Gong, Zhu Sui, and Wang Kai, started a rebellion. Chen Gong persuaded Zhang Miao to join them in welcoming Lu Bu into Yang province. With help from his defectors, Lu Bu seized control of Puyang and declared himself governor of Yan. Various commanderies and counties in Yan province responded to Lu Bu's call and defected to his side, except for Zhuancheng, Dong'e, and Fan, which still remained under Cao Cao's control. On receiving news of the rebellion and Lu Bu's intrusion, Cao Cao aborted the Zhu province campaign and led his forces back to Yan. Armies of Lu Bu and Cao Cao clashed at Puyang, where Cao Cao was unable to overcome Lu Bu, so both sides were locked in a stalemate for over 100 days. At the time, Yan province was plagued by locusts and droughts, so the people suffered from famine, and many had resorted to cannibalism to survive. Lu Bu moved his base from Puyang further east to Shanyang. Within 2 years, Cao Cao managed to retake all of his territories. So, after that, Lu Bu treated Liu Bei very respectfully when he first met him, and he said, "You and I are both from the northern borders. When I saw the Guangdong coalition rise up against Dongzhuo, I already wanted to help them eliminate him. However, I slew Dongzhuo and left Chang'an. None of the former coalition members were willing to accept me. They even tried to kill me." He then brought Liu Bei to his camp, asked Liu to sit on his wife's bed, and instructed his wife to pay respect to Liu. When he threw a feast for Liu Bei and called Liu his younger brother, Liu Bei knew that Lu Bu was unpredictable and trustworthy, but he kept quiet and pretended to be friendly. When Liu Bei was governing Zhu, he was stationed in the provincial capital Jiapi and drew boundaries with Yuan Shu in the areas around the Huai River. When Yuan Shu learnt that Lu Bu was in Zhu province, he wanted to instigate Lu Bu to help him deal with Liu Bei, so he wrote to Lu Bu. In the past, Dongzhuo monopolized state power, harmed the imperial family, and murdered my family. I participated in the campaign against him, but did not manage to kill him. You slew Dongzhuo and sent me his head. In doing so, you helped me take revenge and salvage my reputation. This was the first favor you did me. When Jin Yuanzhu was headed to Yan province, Cao Cao defeated and nearly drove him to the point of destruction. Later, you attacked Cao Cao in Yan province and helped me regain my reputation. This was the second favor you did me. Throughout my life, I have never heard of the existence of Liu Bei, but he started a war with me. With your mighty spirit, you are capable of defeating Liu Bei, and this will be the third favor you do for me. With these 3 favors you did me, I am willing to entrust matters of life and death to you, even though I may not be worthy. You have been fighting battles for a long time, and you lacked food supplies. I hereby send you 200,000 hu of grain and open my doors to you. If they are insufficient, I will continue to provide you a steady flow of supplies. If you need weapons and military equipment, just ask. Lu Bu was delighted, and he agreed to help Yuan Shu attack Jiapi. Contents of Yuan Shu's letter, as recorded in the Ho Huan Shu, were slightly different and briefer as compared to that recorded in Sangwo Shi. Lu Bu would then lead his forces some 40 li west of Jiapi. Let's see. Zhang Kuang told Lu Bu, Zhang Yide quarreled with Cao Bao and killed him. The city is now in a state of chaos. There are 1,000 soldiers from Danyang stationed at the West White Gate. When they heard of your arrival, they jumped for joy as if they had been revitalized. Danyang soldiers will open the west gate for you when you reach there. Lu Bu mobilized his troops that night and reached Jiapi at dawn, where Danyang soldiers opened the west gate. Lu Bu sat on the viewing platform above the gate and instructed his troops to set fire to the city. They defeated Zhang Fei and his men in battle and captured Liu Bei's family, families of Liu's subordinates, and Liu's supplies. On receiving news of Lu Bu's intrusion, Liu Bei immediately headed back to Jiapi, but most of his troops scattered along the way. With his remaining men, Liu Bei moved eastward to take Guangling Commandery, where Yuan Shu's forces defeated him. Liu Bei then retreated to Haiji County, where, in hunger and desperation, he surrendered to Lu Bu. This took place in around early 196. Lu Bu was displeased that Yuan Shu's supplies had not reached him yet, so he led his men to welcome Liu Bei. He appointed Liu Bei as inspector of Yu province and ordered him to garrison at Xiaopei, while he declared himself governor of Zhu and remained in Xiaopei.
But Liu Bei's a pretty poor ruler, so I went and stole his castle. That made him mad, so he called on Cao Cao to help him come and take it back.
That is true. Let's see. Skip that paragraph. We're also going to skip this section where actually Lu Bu, after doing all this, allied to Cao Cao in a campaign against Yuan Shu. I'm not going to read this entire thing, but let's see. Yuan Shu was furious that Lu Bu reneged on his word, so he allied with Han Jian and Yang Feng, sent his general to attack Lu Bu. Lu Bu and those forces fought each other. Lu Bu would win. Yada yada blah blah blah. Conflict with Zhang Ba. Just long battles over and over again. We're gonna skip all of this because in the end we know what happens. And then eventually Cao Cao and Liu Bei will team up to take Jiapi back. So later the next year, 197, Yang Feng and Han Jian were brigands who raided the area between Yang and Zhu provinces and were ordered by Lu Bu to lead their troops to raid Liu Bei's supplies. However, Liu Bei lured them into a trap. Yang Feng was killed while Han Jian escaped. Around late 197 or early 198, Lu Bu sided with Yuan Shu. Lu Bu also ordered his soldiers to gather gold and money to buy some military horses. Cao Cao will then later attack Zhu province in the winter of 198, led a campaign against Lu Bu and besieged Jiapi for many, many days. I read the number 100 earlier, but that wasn't during this section. But eventually, it would come out that they would flood the castle. That would ruin Lu Bu's men's morale. And funnily enough, during this battle, Lu Bu wanted to surrender multiple times to Cao Cao, thinking, hey, I was on good terms with Cao Cao. We allied with each other. Maybe he'll spare us. And Cheng Gong, his advisor, kept on saying, no, you're stupid. Cao Cao is pissed and he will kill you. So that's when we get into the Battle of Jiapi.
Plan to use a river against me. Let them try. What good is strategy gonna do them when my blade comes down on their necks?
We do know from previous episodes, he is supposed to die here.
Their army. It's filled with officers of talent and valor. Lu Bu, do you think that we could really defeat them?
Doesn't matter. Their numbers make no difference. By opposing me, they are marching to their own slaughter!
The river is flowing into the castle? Everybody, get to higher ground! We'll drown if we stay here!
So before, well, I'll let them talk first to see if they'll say
All right,
anything.
quit messing around! These wars have completely destroyed the life you once knew. Yao Zhan, are you bitter towards me?
No, it's okay. The chaos. destiny, war. There was no escaping it. I have no regrets. You and I were meant to walk this path together.
I want you watching over me until the very end.
It's too dangerous to head out.
So like I was going to mention, well, firstly, I wanted to say,
Yuan Shu's army is coming to assist us.
I do know why they push the story with, what's-her-face,
We'll arrive any moment.
with, Diao Chan, and it's because that was in the, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms story.
No! Our escape route has been flooded. The enemy is all around us. We need help.
This looks like a job for Zhang Liao. Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
What was I gonna say next? I don't even remember. But,
I dare you.
during this battle, as well, multiple times that, Lu Bu thought of surrendering. There was another time where he wanted to go out and attack the supply lines, but his wife convinced him not to go out because his advisors don't get along together and would not be able to properly defend the castle, which, I mean, it's not wrong. His advisors kept on giving him the worst advice possible. So, there is also the thing about the reinforcements in this battle that they kept on mentioning, and in one of our iterations we've actually seen them come. Yuan Shu, even though Lu Bu betrayed him and then re-allied him, I guess, Yuan Shu was going to send reinforcements, but then decided against it, and just kind of said, "Nah, never mind."
Because hunting season is now open. Those who oppose me will suffer the consequences.
I appreciate all of the unique, whatchamacallits, cutscenes that we don't see otherwise,
It's my ambition, not enough to conquer the land.
Can anybody provide me with a decent challenge?
So obviously, Lu Bu doesn't win this battle. We already know that.
I have defeated the villain Cao Cao and brushed aside his cowardly water attack. Neither troops nor pathetic plots can overcome my might.
So I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the reason why Yuan Shu didn't send reinforcements is because he wanted to marry Lu Bu's daughter. Lu Bu said no. So Yuan Shu said, "Alright, I'm not sending reinforcements." There is a moment where Lu Bu tries to break the siege and escape the castle to deliver his daughter to Yuan Shu so he can get reinforcements, but his attempted escape is repelled and he is forced back inside the castle. On Lu Bu's side, again, it's just a lot of incompetence, I feel, from his subordinates, basically. Again, while I was skimming this earlier, it's just like Chen Gong is like, "No, don't go out. No, don't surrender. You were a jerk earlier, so they're definitely gonna kill you." And it was, I think bad advice. But they're not wrong in that Cao Cao probably wouldn't forgive, because we can read about Lu Bu's death. Lu Bu was tied up and brought before Cao Cao. He said, "I'm being tied up too tightly. Can you loosen the bonds?" Cao Cao replied, "A tiger must be tightly restrained." Lu Bu then said, "My lord, you dread only me, but now since I've already submitted to you, you shouldn't have any more worries. My lord, why don't you spare me and let me help you lead your troops? In this way, you won't need to worry about not being able to pacify and the empire. When Cao Cao showed signs of reconsideration, Liu Bei interjected, "My lord, haven't you seen what Lu Bu did to Ding Jinyang and Grand Preceptor Dong?" Cao Cao rubbed his chin. Lu Bu shouted at Liu Bei, "You're the most untrustworthy person." He's not wrong. Liu Bei sucks. Additional details about the conversation were recorded in other texts, and there are two kind of different interpretations of what happened. Lu Bu, in the Yingzhongji, Lu Bu told Cao Cao, "I treated my subordinates generously, but they betrayed me when I was in trouble." Cao Cao replied, "You abandoned your wife and your designs on your men's wives. You call this treating them generously?" And that is true. I didn't mention it earlier, but when he escaped Chang'an earlier after killing Dong Zhuo, he did leave his wife behind, and his subordinates were the ones to protect her and deliver her again to Lu Bu later. In the Jian Di Qinqiu, or Chunqiu, Lu Bu asked Cao Cao, "My lord, you've lost weight. Why?" Cao Cao asked him, "How do you recognize me?" Lu Bu replied, "When I was in Luoyang, I saw you at the Wen family gardens." Cao Cao said, "Yes, I forgot. I lost weight because I'm depressed over not having recruited you earlier." Lu Bu said, "In the past, Duke Hunan of Qi forgave Guan Zhong for injuring him earlier and even appointed Guan as his chancellor. Now, is it possible for you to allow me to do my best to serve you?" As Lu Bu had been tightly restrained, he turned to Liu Bei and said, "Zhuan De, you're a guest here. I'm a prisoner being tied up. Why don't you say anything to help me?" Cao Cao laughed and said, "Why do you turn to him instead of speaking directly to me?" Cao Cao had the intention of sparing Lu Bu, so he ordered his men to loosen Lu Bu's bonds. However, Wang Bi, a registrar under Cao Cao, interrupted. "Lu Bu is a powerful foe and his allies are nearby. He shouldn't be spared." Cao Cao then said to Lu Bu, "I wanted to spare your life, but my registrar says no. So, what should I do?" Lu Bu was then executed by hanging, along with Chen Gong and Gao Shun and some others. Their dead bodies were later decapitated, and their heads were sent to the capital, Zhu, and then buried. So, that is how the story of Lu Bu is supposed to end, where after constant reallying, betraying, it finally all caught up to him, and it's thrown into his face like, "You're a dirty dog, you're gonna be put down." His personality seems to be a lot more mild than we see in the video games here, but, you know, the video games are hamming it up. Probably the Romance of the Three Kingdoms are hamming it up too, you know? So, let me see Lu Bu's final moments. And then the Guan Yu or the Zhang Liao section we'll get to when we play as Zhang Liao.
Dong Zhuo, Cao Cao. All that have stood against me have perished. None can oppose my might. Are there any left willing to face me? Anyone at all?
Huh, there aren't. That's strange.
It was during the final days of the year 200 AD when the Han Dynasty saw its end. Its demise ushered in a new era of chaos, brought on by several regional lords vying to rule China. There were those who sought absolute power, as well as those who fought for justice, and some simply fought for the sake of their beliefs. Many would rise and fall in their attempts to dominate the land.
We'll say I appreciate later games for
Lu Bu,
giving us more
from the
Lu
land
Bu.
of Wu Yuan. An incredible warrior, he was feared and was likened to that of a war god on the battlefield. It is said the mere mention of his name could make even the most seasoned officer tremble. Dong Zhuo, wanting to take over the capital, employed Lu Bu to aid him in his endeavor. With Lu Bu at his side, Dong Zhuo was able to spread his tyranny throughout the land. At the zenith of Dong Zhuo's reign, a beautiful dancer by the name of Diao Chan appeared at court. Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo's relationship deteriorated as both of them vied for her affections.
which is not true, but I'm sure that was in the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Lu Bu killed Dong Zhuo for Diao Chan. Afterwards, he served Yuan Shao, but was quickly released. He became a vagabond, wandering the land. Everyone knew of his treachery, and not a single person trusted him. He finally ended his life as a wanderer when he seized Shapi Castle from Liu Bei. Angered, Liu Bei allied with Cao Cao and desperately fought to win back his castle. However, their combined efforts failed in the face of the mighty Lu Bu. Despite this incredible victory, he still had a feeling of emptiness inside him, for now he was truly alone. However, he would not allow his despair to overcome him. Together with his steed, Red Hair, he rode off in search of what new challenges might await him. These tales, long forgotten in the flows of time, are about the legends of which no one can recall.
I will say for future games, I really appreciate that they lean into Lu Bu being a monstrous warlord, and his fictional story continues onward into more, chaos. But it's very unusual that he only had 4 battles, which is true, to his story. These, 2 battles protecting Dongzhuo. Battle of Changshan did happen. Battle of Jiapi did happen. But I do know in future Dynasty Warriors games, I've played up to 8 Extreme Legends, that they continue it forward and even make Chen Gong, a playable character as well, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. Not cool at all. But yeah, really unusual that he only has 4 stages, and I think all the other other characters that we unlock, like Yuan Shao we will unlock eventually, Yao Chan, Dongzhuo we probably unlock here as well, but I don't remember if they also have 4 stages, and obviously their stories are all going to be also fabrication, except for maybe Yuan Shao. They might stop after the battle at Guan Yu or something. But there's Diao Chan.
Pathetic. Not even one person could match my power. I must keep searching until I find a challenge.
Yeah, that's the story of Lu Bu. I expected a lot more, honestly. I could tell you, though, that I don't remember playing his story as a kid. I mostly just played as Zhang Liao over and over again and played, all the characters I only ever thought were cool, so... yeah, that's it. Boot up some Super Hentai Warriors. Shut up. So, nothing changes from the schedule. I opted to play Dynasty Warriors tonight, mostly because I thought I was going to be driving Princess to and from her work as a babysitter tonight. So, I thought I was only going to have a limited amount of time, which is why I decided to do Lu Bu. That's a lot of Lu Bu and Diao Chan. But that's why I decided to do Lu Bu. We will schedule Diao Chan for a later episode But like I mentioned at the end of the previous episode, we are going to not return to Wei. It was we're going to be doing Zhuge Liang on Thursday afternoon, and then we are going to return to Wu to do Sunshang Jiang. So that should be a lot of fun. Let's see if anyone is live for a raid.